the downtown area. Like on top.
No.
On top. That can be done. Well, no, that's the point.
No, I mean, you know, I've said to, when people have asked me kind of what is your kind of ideal town look like, I've said, well, you know, I grew up over in New Canaan, Connecticut, and I think they have a pretty nice town. And in my view, that's what we should be aspiring to. Now, that's a much larger town, and the footprint of the town is bigger. But I mean, why couldn't we have a smaller version of that with a kind of right kind of mix of retail, professional services, and something where the people in the town feel they don't have to necessarily leave town to do their shopping. So,
John, I have a very simple request. It seems to me that a lot of budgets get put together, and the town budget may need significant improvement on how that is done. But more importantly, if you were to be on that board, could you commit to making sure that the financial controllership area brings, whenever you have a decision to be made, a financial analysis that shows its implications over the long run? If we do that, we might have some idea where the hell we're going. And I don't think that's been accomplished.
yeah, and I would absolutely commit to that. I mean, that was really been a significant part of my professional background.
I just want to hear you say it, John.
And you know, I've run finance functions at very large companies, and you know, I understand how to do that. I also have you know, been a general manager of a business and been responsible for, you know, hiring and firing people. So I mean, I will take a very hard-headed kind of look at it. And again, I think, you know, some people might suggest it's unwise to say I would only, you know, serve for one term, but I mean, the reality
If you're
is,
good, we'll elect you.
I don't think you'll be able to dissuade me, quite honestly. You know, I think, again, I think it does, you know, going into that with everything, your eyes open, and I think, you know, it'll afford me some ability to kind of do things I think I should do without any real concerns.
John, there was mention made before. John, did I call you?
Yes.
John?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
My wife is correct. Well, that's nothing new in.
You must be wrong.
There was mention made before regarding these legacy benefits, paid in full benefits for the rest of their lives. Some of these part-time employees, and council members. I've spoken ad nauseum at town board meetings regarding this issue, and it has fallen on absolutely deaf ears. If you're elected to the town board, what would you do, if anything, regarding these benefits for past retirees, present employees, and future?
Well, without looking at it, you know, I can't say specifically what I would do, but I would suggest to you that I understand it's a gigantic problem. I mean, it's literally the 800-pound gorilla in the room are these health benefits to public sector employees, both on the local.
I'm talking about specifically part-time employees.
I'm not in favor of legacy.
I'm not either, but what would you do to correct it?
Well, I think we should look at it and see what are the legal implications of trying to do something to adjust that. I don't, again, I don't know the specifics of how many employees we're talking about or what their costs are. But I'm not, as I stated, I view this position, the one that I'm running for, as a part-time job. I don't think I'm entitled to benefits. I will take benefits.
I understand what you said for you.
Yeah.
Concerned about.
Well, I think I'm consistent. I believe that for others as well, but I don't, again, without knowing the specifics or what the legality is in terms of how you can address those contracts.
Will that be an objective that you seriously consider?
Excuse me?
Will that be an objective
Yeah,
that you
I think
seriously
so. I think
consider?
you have. Yeah, I think you have to look at that very seriously.
I was just going to say that I don't think it's fair to put him on the spot. He's not in a position to review those contracts objectively and to know what the contractual obligations are and where he can step in and take a look at those and what he can do yet. So,
well, I would commit to stepping in and taking a look at it.
right, and I don't think you can ask him to do more at this point. I think that's totally unfair.
I must say, the town board, not contractual positions,
not talking about breaking contracts to town board members. And as I say, I've spoken ad nauseum regarding this issue, and it has not been addressed, and I'm quite concerned that you say you're going to make sure you don't get them, but that doesn't satisfy me, John. Okay, so I guess I don't like the political talk. Okay?
Well,
And what I'm looking for, frankly, is say, look, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this.
right. Well, you know what I'd be happy to do is for you to inform me of what, who specifically we're talking about, what the dollars are we're talking about, and I will give you an answer when I'm, better informed. Philosophically, I don't believe I'm entitled as a part-time employee. I don't know what kind of agreements there are in the past. If we can exchange contact information at the end of the meeting, I will be more than happy to listen, learn, and then tell you how I would react to letter things to your satisfaction. But yeah, I don't really, I don't actually have no idea who you're talking about, what specific benefit. I have heard you speak at town meetings. I heard you speak at the budget review.
I envision a very serious short-term problem in terms of town revenue. My understanding is that the tax grievances line is out the door. So you have an immediate drop in revenue that I can't fathom can be any sort of a cut in expenses to even approach equality. So I'd like to hear your feelings on that.
Well, again, I haven't been involved in the budget review workshops to date. I believe that tax increases should be the last solution if there are other ways to meet the shortfall. But I will take a hard look at cutting costs. I mean, I think, I'm not versed in all of the intricacies that Tony spoke of before in terms of how these departments are staffed. But I think we have to look at every single department, every single salary.
I mean, I think that's this really should be a budget structure meeting. You just have to take the budget and go through line by line, every sub-paragraph.
Right.
Cut out the facts.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I am absolutely committed to doing that. I mean, I've done it before. I've done it in the private sector. Again, I know it's not completely analogous, but it's something.
Do people like you?
Yes.
My wife does. No, it's difficult. Those are.
Cut her salary?
She cuts mine, but those are very, extremely difficult discussions to have with people. You're impacting people's lives. Nobody wants to see someone lose a job, especially if it's, if these are people who've been in the town for a long time. But I mean, there's a new reality, and the reality is that there's a cost structure that needs to be attacked. Use the phrase, we need to attack the cost structure. I mean that quite seriously. So.
Yeah, I mean, other than sort of hoping we start to look like New Canaan, which I'm sure we'd all like to, what specific actions do you think we could do to actually get the town center done? Have you looked at that at all in terms of why no one's built it, or what incentives you could provide to have it actually start to happen?
In Armonk Square.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to the builders. I mean, my understanding is that they're under a good deal of financial pressure. I don't know. I would absolutely.
Talking to builders also, from what I've heard, because I've talked to the builder who's actually been asked to do it, they're being a little bit out of whack in terms of what they're willing to allow. In terms of like restaurant space, they want it to be like 1,400 square foot, which no one's going to want to do.
Right.
So there's specific things that this town is doing that is making it unattractive.
Right.
So I think that's something you really got to focus on, what's going on there.
Yeah. Well, I think that the town,